Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to the Robert Sports Show. I'm your host, Robert. All right, CFL week number 9. Whew, last week was an up and down week for me on picks. Straight up picks, 3-1. Against the spread, 1-3. Over under 0-4. Not great, 4-8. Yeah, I got three or four on the picks. The last 4 weeks, not great either. 13-3 on the straight up picks, 7-9 against the spread. 5-11 on the over-under. That's the last 4 weeks. So 52%, 25 and 23. Year to date, straight up picks 20-10. Against the spread 13-17. Over-under 18-12. Overall 51-39, 56.6%. So it looks like the over-under has been the biggest kind of downfall here lately. There was a lot of over going on, and then all of a sudden defenses are starting to get a little bit better, and they're able to kind of stop them so the points aren't getting scored as high. All right, first game, we have the BC Lions, who are 1-5, taking on the 4-3 Winnipeg Blue Bombers. The Lions have scored, on average, 25.3 points per game, which is 8th in the CFL, while giving up 30.6, which is 6th. Winnipeg Blue Bombers, they have scored 26.4 on average, which is 6th in the CFL, while giving up 29.7, which is 5th in the league. Offensively, the BC Lions, even though they are 1-5, they have the 5th most yards per game average, but their defense is number 1 at 367 yards per game. So, with the best defense, and when it comes to yards, they're still just 1-5. Well, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers are 7th in offensive yards and 5th in defensive yards. For the BC Lions, Nathan Rook, not great. 5 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, 107 for 150, 1,403 yards on the season. Those 4 interceptions have definitely been costly for them. While with Winnipeg, Zach Collars, 74 for 103, 985 yards, 5 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Now, Drew Brown has not played well. 76 for 114, not too shabby there, but the 905 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 5 interceptions. So Winnipeg and their quarterback play this year has been So, but they're playing the BC Lions here at 1-5. Winnipeg is 76-70-1 all-time versus the BC. Last year, Winnipeg went 2-0. In the last 10 games, Winnipeg is 8-2 against the BC Lions. So this one was pretty straight up for me. Winnipeg winning. The over/under is 7.5. I went ahead and went Winnipeg covering the 7.5. I am going to go over on the 53.5 due to the number of points that both teams have been giving up. BC has been giving up 30.3 points a game, while Winnipeg's been giving up 29.7. So with that, I am going on the over on the 53.5. Next up, we have the 6-1 Montreal Alouettes going against the 0-6 Ottawa Redblacks. Montreal, 2nd in points scored of 34.1. Defensively, 4th with only giving up 29.1. 1st in offensive yards, 4th in defensive yards allowed. Davis Alexander, 175 for 245, 1 interception, and 11 touchdowns, 2,368 yards. A top-tier season for Davis Alexander. For the Redblacks, 7th in points scored, 25.5. 9th in points given up, 35.5 per game. That is why they are 0-6. Offensively, 8th best yards per game, while defense is 9th at 437.2. This could definitely be an offensive game for Montreal. Jake Maier, 153 for 224, 8 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, 1,716 yards. Now, Montreal all-time is 23-14 against the Ottawa Redblacks. Last year, Montreal was 3-0 against the Redblacks. In the last 10 games, Montreal is 10-0 versus the Redblacks. And in week 4, Montreal won 37-34. So I got Montreal winning. I have Ottawa covering the 7.5 and over on the 61.5. The Calgary Stampeders, 3-4, taking on the 3-4 Hamilton Tiger Cats. Calgary first in points scored, 39.7. 8th in defensive points given up, 34.8. That is the reason they're 500. They're one game under 500. They're giving up almost as many points as they're scoring. You can't do that and be a consistent winner. The Tiger Cats, same thing. They're actually giving up more than what they're scoring. They're only scoring 23.9 points a game, which is 9th. They're giving up 27.1, which is 2nd. Calgary's got the 6th best offense when it comes to yards, 8th on defense. Vernon Adams, though, he is playing lights out. 137 for 209, 20 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. 1,989 yards. If they could just get the defense to stop the other team, I think they could get that record turned around and get to the playoffs. Tiger Cats, offensive, they're 9th. They've given up the 2nd most defensive yards. They've given up their 2nd least in points. So they're giving up all this yardage, but they're actually getting the red zone is actually they're stopping them. So that's good. Bo Levy Mitchell, 86 for 110, 9 touchdowns, 1 interception, 1,107 yards on the season. Calgary is 67-34 all-time versus Hamilton. Calgary was 2-0 last year versus Hamilton, and in the last 10 games they are tied at 5. Calgary is favored by 4.5. Oh, this was one of those that's like, huh. And when you had going Calgary minus 4.5, I'm going under on the 16.5 because of that offensive Hamilton and their defense, because they're not giving up many points, they're not scoring many points. I don't think that Calgary can outblast them, so I'm going to excuse me. I'm going to go under on 16.5. Next up, we have the Saskatchewan Redblacks, Saskatchewan Roughriders, who are 4-2, taking on the Edmonton Elks, who are 6-1. Saskatchewan is 3rd in points scored on the season. They are 3rd in points allowed on the season. They are 3rd in offensive yards on the season. They are 6th in defensive yards on the season. Trevor Harris is 149 for 207 with 5 interceptions, but 16 touchdowns, 2,015 yards. While Edmonton, with that 6-1 record, they are only 5th in points scored, but they are 1st in points allowed with only 24.6. They are 4th in offensive yards. They are 3rd in defensive yards given up. Cody Fajardo is 172 for 242, 4 interceptions, 13 touchdowns, 2,291 yards. That is an MVP kind of season. Edmonton actually leads the all-time series versus Saskatchewan, 97-71. 2025, they were tied 1 game each. In the last 10, they both have won 5. In week 8, Edmonton beat Saskatchewan 36-34. Edmonton is favored by 1.5. I got them winning, covering, and over on the 59.5. So a quick little recap here. The Winnipeg Blue Bombers minus 7.5, over on the 53.5. The Montreal Alouettes, the line is set minus 7.5, but I actually have Ottawa covering, so I got Ottawa plus the 7.5 and over on the 61.5. Calgary Stampeders minus 4.5 and taking under on the 16.5. And the Edmonton Elks minus 1.5 and over on the 59.5. On the season, again, 20-10 on straight up picks, 13-17 against the spread, 18-12 on the over/under, a 56.6%. The goal is 60. We got to get back there. Week 9 is the week that we're going to do it. As always, thanks for watching the Rubber Sports Show, and don't just have a great day. Have a spiffy day. Rubber Sports Show, your YouTube leader in sports show content.